This video is not promoting self-harm or the participation in any related challenges.
One of these young men holds an unusual world record.
I will not be sleeping! Chat. World record 12 days.
What is your name, please?
My name is Randy Gardner.
My name is Randy Gardner.
My name is Randy Gardner.
That's the world record, chat.
As we learn now, which of these young men actually did set a record by staying awake 11 days and 11 nights. Will the real Randy Gardner please stand up?
It's not unusual for us to go several days without the recommended 8 hours of sleep. We might even miss a night every once in a while. Now, 2 or 3 days is more uncommon without extra stimulants like caffeine or drugs. However, when we push past 4 or 5 days, that's when the effects of sleep deprivation can cause permanent damage to your mind, body, and even lead to death in severe situations. Recently, Normee, a 19-year-old Australian YouTuber, challenged himself to break Randy Gardner's Guinness World Record for time spent awake, 11 days and 25 minutes. He did this while originally streaming the entire thing on YouTube. Today, we will deconstruct the stages of sleep deprivation and why no one should attempt this challenge. It's estimated that 50 to 70 million Americans chronically suffer from a disorder of sleep that hinders some form of their daily functionality and causes negative health effects. Long-term interruptions to sleep loss can cause diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, depression, anxiety, stroke, and can open the door for substance abuse. But there's a difference between a prolonged sleep loss and a more sudden interruption to our sleep cycle. To understand the change in behavior, we need to know what our subject Normee is like when he's not sleep deprived. I would describe Normee as your chaotic, high-energy, ADHD having type of guy. He reached 1 million subs around the start of 2023. His most popular videos are rating ESL alarms,
7 out of 10. It's quite fast. It's a little ominous. It's like this sound is staring into your soul. Antigua and Barebud.
and other stuff. I'm not sure what to call it. The start of his stream is just like any other.
Starting the timer.
He reacts to chat, plays some games, some other stuff.
Do you guys see this? Bro just dropped the docs in my Discord server. Normee, you are Australian Irish. You study at a ward. Is that my IP? I don't even know what my IP is.
Around 10 hours in, the first wave of fatigue starts to set in. At 16 hours, he's officially past due to clear up all the buildup from the day before. At this stage, you're just as impaired as someone over the legal limit to drive. Observing Normee, he's still talkative but less energetic.
If I'm out for more than 10 seconds, chat, I lose. This is tough stuff. This is risky business.
Eventually, he has to walk on a treadmill to keep himself up for the first 24 hours. Once you reach past 24 hours without sleep, you enter the first stage of sleep deprivation. Symptoms include drowsiness, irritability, anger, stress, decreased alertness, impaired concentration, tremors, reduced coordination, increased risk of mistakes or accidents, food cravings, dark or bloodshot eyes, brain fog.
I'm cold.
Everyone around him, I notice, always has on some type of jacket, sweater, or hoodie, so the room that they're in probably isn't the warmest. But as time passes, Normee is the only one that progressively puts more and more clothes on. This is likely because sleep deprivation alters cardiovascular regulation, affecting the blood flow to our skin and our body's ability to regulate and maintain heat. Other than that, he plays some card games, some more board games.
I'm adding waves to see how much the ship can handle. These are some big waves. And there it goes. That's okay though, we can move on to an even bigger boat. And
How did you get these vicious waves?
Stage 2, 36 hours in. At this point, different parts of your brain will have a hard time communicating with each other. This severely impairs your cognitive performance, along with all the symptoms I mentioned from stage 1. For most, this is the point where the urge for sleep becomes almost unbearable. It's like you're too tired to even think about how tired you are. However, in Normee's case, he seems a little bit more like his normal self compared to a few hours earlier. A reasonable explanation for this is our natural clock. Circadian rhythms are normally triggered by sunlight. It controls the wake and sleep hormones to ensure every function of our body is performing optimally based on when it believes we will need it the most. Even being completely isolated from the sun or missing multiple nights of sleep, our natural clock will still cue our wake and sleep hormones just the same. Now, keep in mind, just from watching the stream, we can't clearly see what's going on inside his body. At this stage, it's more likely to experience increased inflammation, impaired immune function, and hormone imbalances. Stage 3, 48 hours in. Your immune system has severely weakened. Memory may start to falter at this stage. Your reaction time will be worse, and you'll be extremely fatigued. You also go through short periods of microsleeps. A microsleep is a brief involuntary moment of sleep, basically sleepwalking but inverted, kind of. So you're awake, but your brain activity is just as dormant as you are when you're asleep. It lasts anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes and isn't always noticeable since your eyes will remain open the entire time. So the whole idea of pushing yourself to reach an uninterrupted time of wakefulness is technically impossible because your brain will practically put itself to sleep at some point regardless. At the start of this stage, Normee seems alright, not too far off from his typical self. I never mentioned that this is Normee's third attempt at the challenge overall.
Bruh, there was a wild and vicious debate over whether or not the 9 minutes were valid, whether or not I was disqualified from the competition, and I have settled it with the courts and the judges. I officially concede. It's okay to fail as long as you tried your absolute hardest. Which is why next time I try, I'm gonna pay 2 people full time to sit there and shake my ass awake so I can't fail again. There will not be a next failure video.
55 hours in, his fatigue has become visible again. The night is always harder for him to stay awake. We already know why.
No caffeine.
His eyes are not always open, resorting to standing more frequently. Posture starting to degrade. Head and shoulders starting to slouch while standing. No telling exactly where he is mentally, but still has enough concentration to play a video game or board game. Although it varies based on your genetic disposition, this is the point where hallucinations start to occur for most individuals. Based on a study analyzing previous studies performed back when it was considered ethical to perform tests on sleep deprivation, across 21 articles, 20 out of 21 individuals experienced some form of misleading visual phenomenon. Visual phenomenon can be classified as illusions, distortions, and hallucinations. Illusions are more so like misinterpretations of reality, like mistaking a coat rack for a person. Distortions is seeing something out of ratio to how it actually is, like a room growing in size or your hands shrinking while you look at them. And then a hallucination is a fake or false perception involving any one of your senses. The most common was sotomosensory experiences, reported in half the individuals tested, like rocking on the boat or the feeling like you're accelerating in a car.
This shit moving? That's Phantom. No way, you're lying. This shit's moving. Yo, this shit's moving.
Auditory hallucinations were more common, with 7 being reported.
I'm free.
hearing voices, whispers, or something like dogs barking in the distance that weren't actually there. 5 out of 21 individuals experienced complex visual hallucinations. The majority of individuals were able to recover after a period of normal sleep, but 5 studies reported ongoing problems afterwards, such as confusion, mania, and delusional ideation.
I'm powerful. I'm fucking powerful.
For days or even weeks after experiments have been completed.
Yo, for my protection, come in here! He can't come in?
The thinking is that visual hallucinations occur when parts of the brain responsible for visual functioning get disrupted, which is kind of obvious. But this hasn't been proven since the studies on the matter are no longer ethical. It's easy to draw a correlation between missing out on dreams and hallucinations, almost as if the dreams we miss out on at night will creep into our reality during the day. This is known as the dream intrusion phenomenon. Support for this theory, however, will require a demonstration that hallucinations rely and occupy similar parts of the brain as REM sleep does, which it doesn't. Dreams don't reach the full complexity as hallucinations, and the things we see in dreams stem from some amount of personal meaning or importance. Hallucinations are commonly a second byproduct. Stage 4, 72 hours awake. If you reach 72 hours without sleep, you probably won't be able to remain awake on your own. You could fall asleep anywhere, at your desk, on the toilet, behind the wheel. Your emotions will swing wildly, which could lead to a depressed mood, anxiety, paranoia, or even mania. With Normee, he's acting less like Normee and more like Captain Jack Sparrow.
To memorize his name.
What's up, chat?
His behavior is beginning to fall off.
I gotta make it to 12 days. We're only 3 days in.
Also some slurred speech. At this stage, the chances of microsleep will become more frequent and longer. Hallucinations will grow in complexity, and you may also start to experience depersonalization. Depersonalization is a dissociative phenomenon that causes you to feel disconnected from yourself, thoughts, emotions, sensations, or actions. It can feel like you're watching a movie of your own life. 90 hours in, Normee is showing extreme signs of fatigue. He struggles to stand up and maintain conversations at all. He eats ham off of a laptop? This must be some Australian shit I don't know about. I was baffled to see that. So far, the most interesting part I've observed from Normee is he's still always more active during the day. I mentioned how we have internal clocks, but I didn't realize how strong of an effect they had on our body. It's almost like at night, it seems like he can't go on any longer, and I assume that he's going to be sleepy just the same during the day, but as soon as the sun comes up, he gets a burst of energy and he's able to like slightly function a little bit better. Around 92 hours in, his mother stops by.
No. Hey guys, how you going?
We're on me. Yeah.
How many people are watching?
Over 32 people.
Wow.
Wow.
People, wow. Have you been hallucinating yet?
Nope. Because I should just stay on my feet.
No. That'll make you more tired.
Can't fall asleep standing up.
Yeah, you can.
No. I'm fine right now.
No, you're not to be left, and don't let anyone leave you.
Don't
this
you
is the
want me
crazy
to
talk. I don't want you to fail, because then you'll try it again and you'll be wrecking your brain. I want you to succeed. This room's so dirty. Tidy your room. Tidy your bedroom.
Stage 5, 96 hours awake. This stage is obviously the most dangerous out of all of them. The urge for sleep will feel unbearable, and your perception of reality will be severely impaired and distorted. You'll be unable to think clearly and could end up in a state of psychosis. Psychosis is an episode where someone becomes detached from reality, very similar to depersonalization. However, you're too detached to recognize the change in your own behavior. The most concerning part about this is we've reached the final stage of sleep deprivation, yet Normee isn't even halfway towards reaching his goal. Even knowing the outcome, it was still concerning for me to watch some of this footage, so viewer discretion is advised.
Back chat. Chat, I survived.
Extreme fatigue starts to set in.
I just barely survived. But, I'm still here.
He's less verbal. He struggles to stand during the day.
Jesus. You alright? Yeah.
I think maybe you better sit down.
And at
Take
night,
care of everything.
that's a whole different story. The fatigue comes in waves, and it comes and goes more frequently. Some moments it looks like he can't go any further, then a couple hours later he'll be energetic as his usual self, repeating the cycle with the pockets of fatigue growing each time.
Because they do technically, a lot of those buckets do stack on top of themselves.
Profound mouth breathing, complete disregard for facial expressions at times. He also has chapped lips, puffy face, and darkened eyes. Day 6, 16 hours in. After some cleaning, Normee completely falls over while standing unsupervised. He wasn't aware he fell until after gaining some composure. A little while later, I noticed Normee experiencing a moment of microsleep. You can see his eyes and face relax, but you can still hear him moving the mouse and typing on the keyboard.
Yeah, do you want to scroll through?
Yeah, open up Consider. Let's watch Consider.
I don't think I have.
Just go to home.
Along with this, he's having more difficulty maintaining conversations and responding to questions in general. It seems like it requires more focus for him to read a message from the chat, always reading the message out loud before responding.
Elmo, where's Elmo? Did you lose him because of your horrible, terrible eyesight? You're unless you might have some kind.
Hey, lead.
The thing I see Normee eat the most is chocolate. He even eats sugar straight out the bag at one point.
What did Decky say? Did you check what Decky said? And you go, oh yeah, and then you pull it back out and get distracted again. Like, I presume on like the home screen.
Now I remember that. He wasn't even... The brain runs on sugar.
Also, I don't think that's a... Like, sugar rush? Is that the science that you're running behind?
It's, no.
Oh, just like...
The brain can't
Oh,
do
just
protein.
like glucose.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Sugar can provide a quick energy fix by boosting our blood sugar levels, which are impacted by fatigue. However, this boost of energy does not sustain itself for long at all and can leave us feeling even more tired afterward. Day 7, 17 hours in. Needs constant guidance to stay awake.
Go. You need to stand up, Tiny. Tiny, you can't fall asleep. Do you remember? Do you remember you can't fall asleep? You can't... Tiny! You can't fall asleep. Nisha! Hey!
Okay.
At this point, he sleeps standing most of the night, barely cognitive on his own.
I don't know if we're gonna make it, Tiny.
No.
Seriously. I don't know if we can do this.
Around
have
8 days
beautiful
into the challenge,
landscapes.
they go outside for a
And on
walk.
the other half, you have shitty half-built houses.
That definitely looks like Australia. They've consistently gone outside for walks, but this is the first one I included for some reason. 200 hours in, his stream starts to gain some notoriety with clips circulating Twitter at the time.
Okay, but like, I'm on Twitter, like looking at thumbnails.
At this point, you can see a clear correlation between him eating and him becoming drowsy afterwards. It's almost like an immediate reaction afterwards.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, time.
A little while later, you actually see him start to hallucinate. He begins removing his clothes, pushing buttons that aren't actually there, making odd hand gestures, or just facing the wrong way entirely.
Oh, jeez. Tiny, you want to sit down? You want to sit down for a while?
His friend stops the streams to make a call, probably to the paramedics, but Normee snaps out of it. 10 days in, Normee attempts to drive.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. This has a route for you to follow.
Okay, so I followed the. Alright, this is a genuine aptness test. It's been 240 hours. Let's go, let's get it. Am I going fast enough?
I don't know. Oh, you've got to pull over and pick the people up. Oh, you missed them. Right, you're about to crash. Ah.
Oh, there's a red light.
I don't know if the lights ever go green.
There's a red light.
You can just go through. Oh, green light. Well, you're such a responsible driver.
His pupils are large at times, but will aggressively shrink in size moments later. Research has shown there's a strong relationship between sleep deprivation, pupil size, and pupil stability. Typically, our pupils will contract or expand to control how much light is entering our eyes or to focus on an object. As you become more sleep deprived, your pupil size will become less stable. Rather than maintaining its size, it fluctuates more rapidly. It's common for the pupil to shrink and expand in correlation with the degree of mental effort while in this state. Normee was really close to approaching his goal, but then his stream got removed from YouTube. So 11 hours away from his goal, he starts streaming on Kick. Surprisingly, Kick didn't want him on their platform. So 7 hours away from his goal, he starts streaming on Rumble.
This is the last stretch. Back on stream. You here? You here with us? We're on Rumble. You here? Okay. You're gonna win. How many hours left, Finn?
We're at 7 hours left.
After streaming on Rumble for about 4 hours, he gets swatted.
Unlock your phone. So do you guys know the channel?
Nah. No, they've
So I've
probably
got
just gotten the
a
reports.
million
There you go.
subs. So I've just gotten doxxed, which has never happened before ever. They've called in just like a bunch of fake complaints. They've made up stuff just to waste your time, waste everybody's time.
We just want to make sure that the release of the emails, just check out and make sure you're off. I think you're an idiot. But yeah, I just you're clearly not working at the moment, are you?
Unemployed activities? What?
Yeah. You get a bit of money from this?
Yeah.
What sort of money are you going to bring in?
More than putting fries in the bag, but less than putting.
Less than making like a real job.
That's a real job. Less than a real job.
Views! Nearly 1 million views on a tweet asking for me to get doxxed. Look at this chat. 800,000 views. If you're in Australia, he's going to have his life changed for the worse. Report him to the authorities. They're trying to dox me. I called Aussie police and had to file a report in Toronto.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudahar, and you know, there's a few things that you shouldn't be doing on YouTube. And one of them is damaging your body to the point where you probably can't get whatever damage you did reversed. And what am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? I'm talking about a streamer that I came across that, frankly, is trying to perform the Russian sleep experiment creepypasta in real life.
6,000 people. Look, 6,000 people just saw an ambulance come in my house because I stayed up past my nap time. I got banned from YouTube because I stayed up past my nap time. I got banned from Kick because I stayed up past my nap time. And then you called the police on me because I stayed up past my nap time.
Mom arrives again.
You're the mother of the show.
But this is for my special boy.
Mr. Beast! Oh!
Okay, calm down.
Then Normee finally reaches his goal.
23, 22.
Wait, we're at 19.
What?
17,
16, 15,
10,
14,
8, 7, 6, 5,
12,
4, 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beat it!
Well done.
Lasting a total of 264 hours and 56 minutes. On Twitter, Normee shared pictures of his hands that appeared to be peeling after the challenge. He also showed off a 3-page writing he made some point during the stream. It wasn't a coherent writing, more so just random scribbles on a piece of paper, which he doesn't remember writing at all. I reached out to see what his recovery process was like, but he was occupied with other things at the time.
Kidnapped Mr. Bacon to pay you.
Could use some salt.
Shout out Normee for sending me the footage from all his streams. I wouldn't have been able to make this video without it. Ethical means for exploring this topic are no longer possible due to the dangers of sleep deprivation. After reviewing the stream, I can clearly understand why, even though Normee put himself up for the task, it was still hard to see someone struggle to fight off sleep for so long. It made me reevaluate how much sleep I've been getting myself. The Guinness World Record stopped tracking this record, so there technically was no official record for Normee to break. On top of that, there are many moments where Normee isn't on camera, or you could practically consider him asleep momentarily. However, he did persevere through a hellish experience, all while broadcasted across the internet. Although this should not be replicated, it does provide insight on a sleep-deprived individual. At the very least, it's an extreme example of how important sleep is to our mind and body. And I hope it encourages you to get some more rest.